Woo! Welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Kornelick.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
We are back from Staples Center. Huge game. The cup is ours. Chris?
Yes, it is. That's right, Kings fans. We're going to be talking about Game 4, Kings Sharks. This is going to be awesome.
It is. Episode 104, Kings Sharks Game 4 Originality. Let's go.
That's right, Keith. We are back after a very, very, very disappointing Game 3. We talked about it the last couple days. One of the biggest losses in Kings playoff history. What a bummer, but we move on to a very exciting Game 4.
You know, Chris, one of the things that I've been sort of taking away from the series, after the Game 1 loss in overtime, where, if Kopitar was there, he would have buried that shot, into Game 2, where we shut him out, played some of the best hockey of the season, 4-0, and then into Game 3, up until we scored that fourth goal, I said, you know what, I really believe the Kings have what it takes, even without Anze Kopitar, to win the series. The question is, will they be able to do it mentally? Now, obviously, they broke down completely in Game 3. Coming to Game 4, another mental crap. What's up, Kings fans? Back in black for Game 4, Kings Sharks, and we know what happened in the last game. Sorry I wasn't there, but I'm kind of glad that I wasn't. As for tonight, anything can happen. I'm saying 3-1 Sharks.
Yeah, another one of those games that started out, we talked about the first period, coming into that, just trying to forget about that. Obviously, it was a mental game, and just trying to forget about that. It's hard, even as fans. I mean, I didn't look at any videos after that. I think I'm not alone there. I didn't want to see any of that. Obviously, it was horrible.
Except KingsCast.
Except for
watch that.
I'm talking about game replays and stuff, but I didn't want to see that again. Go to the Game 4. We still have hope. The series is not over. The Kings had to win 3 out of 4 to win the series, but Game 4,
rough start. We're sort of a rough start to the game. For the first few minutes, the Kings couldn't connect on any, pass coming out of the zone, and looked a little bit sloppy, then really tightened it up. The people that really, really tightened it up, Chris, was Brad Richardson, Wayne Simmonds, and Kyle Clifford, our top line. But these guys, looked like an actual top line, coming out with energy, with speed, something in which we lack. Kyle Clifford driving to the net, Brad Richardson making plays out there. It's like, this is a Brad Richardson reborn to me. And, I saw that and I said there was a lot of pressure. Staples Center was on fire once again. And I said, you know what? I think maybe, just maybe, we can pull this out. So 0-0 at the end of the first.
Yeah.
All right, Kings fans, end of the first, 0-0, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from that Simmonds, Richardson, Clifford line. I'm going to say 3-1 Sharks.
Coming into the second, it unfortunately sort of went downhill and kind of snowballed from there. 3 goals in a row by the San Jose Sharks, followed by 2 by the Los Angeles Kings. Was the comeback going to come? Obviously, it didn't.
Yeah, no, thank God for that first goal, because things were really tense. It felt like the second period from last game, where things started to go awry. But that goal really kind of gave him a little bit of hope. And Terry Murray finally did something that Kings fans have been screaming about since the second period of Game 3. He called the timeout.
It's funny. I don't actually think that was a big deal in the first game because of all the TV timeouts. But, he calls the timeout and the Kings score 2 goals. So maybe there is something to be said about it.
Yeah, I think there is, definitely. The team looked a little bit looser there and looked like they might have had a chance to tie the game, with the penalty, the power play with that, but didn't happen. But you take, the 2-3 game going into the third and hope that Brownie and Murray can rally the guys up for the third period.
All right, Kings fans, end of the second period, and just like last game, 5 goals were scored in that period. 3 of them by the Sharks, 2 of them by the Kings. Momentum shifting towards the Los Angeles Kings. I know it's weird. 4-3 Kings.
Now, that did not happen. It was an epic fail of epic proportions. I mean, final score, Chris, was 6-3 in favor of the San Jose Sharks. Everything that could have gone wrong did, and, it was just awful. Let's talk a little bit about Jonathan Quick, who let in 6 goals in Game 3 and 6 goals tonight in Game 4, yet at the same time still stood on his head. I really can't fault Jonathan Quick for more than maybe 2 goals in the last 13.
No, you can't fault Quick. Quick has had some fantastic saves tonight. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, he really did. He's still, to me, the MVP of the team. But he can't do it alone. The defense just slowed down. They just weren't able to handle the skill and the size of these Sharks players. The Sharks are such a great team. I'm sorry, but they're fantastic.
Absolutely. And another thing that loses you games, Chris, besides defense, which was very suspect, in the last 2, is face-off wins. Now, I was unfortunately on vacation for Game 3, but face-off percentage was like 28% or something awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, especially Hanzus, who was 1 for 15 in Game 3, which is, I'm sorry, horrendous.
Absolutely.
And tonight it seemed like just face-off after face-off, the Kings were losing. And I'm sorry, but if you don't have a possession of the puck, you're not going to win the game or even have a chance to win the game. So, again, a problem tonight. Gotta miss Kopitar.
Oh, you miss Kopitar so much. I think Kopitar, with him, we probably would have won this game or won this series in 7. But it's not over yet, Kings fans. The cup could still be ours for those of you that are still keeping the faith, and we still believe, kind of thing going on. We don't, but
yeah.
I'm sorry. Back in San Jose, Chris. What's your take, man? Are we going to do this or what?
I thought we might have a chance tonight. I thought they would be, humiliated after that, which they obviously were, and come out and fighting, but they weren't. And we talk about, having, down just a goal going into the third, and what do? They give up 2 goals quickly, and suddenly they're down 5-2, and it was just over at that point. Let's be honest.
It is. So, Kings fans, your question of the day is Game 5. Can the Kings actually pull it through? Leave your comments, as always, downstairs.
A lot of talk has been made of Dustin Penner, and obviously he's been a huge disappointment so far.
Huge.
And a lot of fans were like, "Oh, it's not one player. We can't blame one player," which is very true. Obviously Game 3 was a team meltdown. We can't blame Dustin Penner. But when you trade for a guy like that, when you trade what we traded for him, you have high expectations. And last year we traded for Halpern and Modine.
Yeah.
And those guys don't have that kind of expectations on them. Yeah, they're role player guys. They're depth signs, depth trades, but. Obviously, if they went 16 games without 17, actually now, without a goal, you wouldn't even notice that. But it seems like the count is on every game now. And Dustin Penner, I'm not blaming, obviously, the series on him, but for a guy who had a chance to step up and be a hero, has done absolutely nothing.
You know what, Chris? I am going to blame the series on Dustin Penner. You know what? Because if he had a goal in Game 3, the outcome would have been different. You know what I mean? If he was that overtime hero, then we win 6-5. Tonight, if the guy really stepped it up, but here's a guy that's not really finishing any checks. He's slow as hell, and the theory is out there that he is out of shape. Well, he looks it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We've made comments about Drew Doughty being out of shape and things like that. Well, Drew Doughty has stepped up during the playoffs, kind of made a boneheaded play tonight. But that said, overall, I give Drew Doughty, sort of a B+ for the playoffs thus far, maybe. I don't know. But
maybe.
Anyway, you know what? Dustin Penner is an F. At this point, and tonight, Kevin Westgarth had a block shot.
Yep.
From the point. Dustin Penner didn't do anything. Now, am I really ready to give up on him for next season? No. For this season, absolutely. I think someone in the Kings organization, be it the players, Brownie, Matt Green, Dean Lombardi, Terry Murray, are going to kick his ass. And he needs to lose some weight over the summer because he needs to come back and prove that he is an elite player. This is a guy that's been a 30-goal scorer a couple of times, won a cup with the Anaheim Ducks. This is absolutely ludicrous how bad he's been. And let's not use the Anze Kopitar excuse because Brad Richardson, Kyle Clifford, and Wayne Simmonds figured out a way to step it up.
Yeah, and Penner's not like he lacks skill or anything. Yeah, he lacks speed maybe, but and we've given him plenty of time to mesh with his teammates, but the time is up, and he's definitely an F to me as well. I'm sorry, I'm not blaming the series on him, but he's a guy that we were counting on to step up, especially when Kopitar went down, and he has done nothing, so it's...
So we're going to be right back at you on Saturday, and unfortunately, we're not going to have that real final goodbye at Staples Center. Unless they win and we go to Game 6, then we will.
Could happen.
Yeah, so we'll be downstairs in KingsCast Studio B covering the game for you.
Yeah, that's right. So looking forward to that, and hoping for a Kings win, but thinking it might be over by then. So
sorry about the night, Kings fans. I'm Keith Korneluk.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
And thank you for watching Overtime by KingsCast.